over the stream here. But anyway, so my top 15 favorite rides from a big and tall perspective. And again, I am 6'8", and I probably weighed between like 360 and 380 at the time I was riding all these rides. I haven't ridden all of them recently, but they are still really, really good. Um, but I kind of prioritize them as to fun and if I can fit on them. So let's dig in and see if this is gonna work for me. All right, so number 15 is Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls at. Are you 1 second, Jill? Are you playing audio? Okay. Okay. Jill has to go, so I fixed the problem apparently. Okay, it was driving her nuts. Okay, love you. Bye. Okay. All right, so I guess I should start the video over so I can edit it. Okay, so Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls. If you saw the video I did on this one, you might be really kind of surprised that it's on my list, just because it's not one I can fit on. I literally hurt myself trying to get in and out of the regular seats on Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls, and this one only makes the list just barely because of the modified seat. It is a fantastic ride for the actual ride experience. But the only way I can get on it, the only way I'll ever ride it again, is on that modified seat. Just to give you some idea why I like the ride, the theming is really great. It's really corny. It's really unique, and it has one of the best drops of any water ride that I've ridden here in the Orlando area. It is the largest drop. It actually goes down below the walking surface, so it gets a pretty good head of steam there, and it's really exciting. But again, those little toboggans, or well, whatever, the little boats that you're in, man, those are incredibly hard for a big person to get in and out of. So if you're a big guy like me or a big gal, ask for that modified seat. You might have to wait a few minutes for it to come back around, but they usually have those in circulation. All right, so number 14 of my top favorite rides here in the Orlando area is Toy Story Mania. All right, so what Toy Story Mania is, it's kind of a little simulator ride where you ride around on in a car, and you actually have a gun, and you have this pull ring, and you're shooting at different digital screens. So it's a lot more like a video game. So when you shoot, nothing comes out of your gun, just like an image shows up on the screen, but it's based on the direction that your gun is pointing, and you compete with the other people that are in your car. So it's a lot of fun. It's Toy Story themed. It can be kind of a long wait, but it's pretty good. I mean, you have very interesting things, a lot of different scoring opportunities, and a whole lot of different set pieces to shoot at. The variety on this one really is what put it on the list. All right. So number 13. Number 13 is Star Tours at Hollywood Studios. So Star Tours is a little bit dated. It's basically just a kind of a room. It's a simulator room that has a theater in it. Okay, and these seats can be kind of small, but if you're in the front row and you're the last person to get in, that last seat, the armrest actually moves, and a big person can fit there a little bit easier. But overall, this is a very interesting ride because it can be different every single time you go on it. So I remember when I think it was The Last Jedi came out, they just added in like the salt flat part of the ride. So when you go on the ride, there's 3 different segments to the ride, and so you might go to Jakku in the beginning, and then like the Empire Strikes Back, you go through Hoth in the middle, and then at the very end you're on the Salt Flats in The Last Jedi, and it's really, really interesting the way that everything kind of blends together. I definitely enjoy this ride just because it's very rarely the same every time I go. I don't know how many different scenes they have, but they have a lot, and they just kind of stitch them together. Okay, so number 12 is soaring around the world. Okay, now some people might be surprised that this isn't higher on the list, but there might be something coming that has kind of knocked it down a few pegs. But soaring around the world is kind of a hang gliding simulator. So you're sitting in kind of this bench row, and you have the seatbelt that comes out and hooks you in there. So you're secured, but then you have grab bars on the sides of you. But as a big person, I can't get an angle on the grab bars. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, okay, I don't want to fall out of this. And as it leans forward, the only thing holding me in is the belt. So I can't grab anything. So that makes it a little bit nerve wracking for me. It's still a really good ride, a really pretty ride. It's a giant like 4K curved OmniMax screen. It's really immersive, but it is it is a hang gliding simulator that, if you look straight ahead, works really well. But as soon as you look around and you see feet just dangling right in front of your face, it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. And I've seen people drop their flip flops on this. It's like they wore them, and it brings you up in the air, and then they drop their flip flops. And so definitely, if you're wearing flip flops, leave those on the ground. But as a big and tall person with really long legs, I feel like I'm kind of dangling out of the seat a little bit more than is comfortable, and that my legs are hanging down for people in front of me. So I try and lift my legs up just so I don't block anybody's view. But that just kind of makes it uncomfortable, and it makes me lean forward, and it moves my center of gravity forward. It makes me feel more like I'm falling out. So it's good. It's a great ride for smaller people. For me, it's it's not one I rush to go and do. All right, so number 11. Number 11 is Mission Space Orange. All right. So Mission Space, basically what it is it's two centrifuge rides. So you get in it, and you're kind of in the command module of a rocket, and you're either going to be going around the Earth in the green mission, or all the way to Mars in the orange one. And the green mission is kind of a little bit more, a little bit less intense, basically. It's you go up in the rocket, then you orbit the Earth, and you see a lot of pretty stuff, and then you land back. And the orange one, that is probably the first ride that I actually felt like I was going to full on pass out on, and I really kind of like that. It it definitely surprised me with how intense it was. So I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be bad, and it was bad. It was awesome. It was so bad it was awesome. So definitely it would have blown my hair back had I been able to do it. But it is an extremely claustrophobic kind of ride vehicle. So when I get into it, I'm kind of bunched up and kind of smushed in there. And in this photo here, that is not what you can expect when you're in there, because right now in that photo they're taking a picture and they're having to reach out really far. But when it closes, then the door closes, that command interface just like comes and is like right here, right smack in front of your face. And you can't move. You're in it for the long haul. And but it has a lot of different controls and a lot of things to be fiddling with while you're in there. But it is a very intense and a very good experience. I do like intense rides, and this one actually surprised me with how intense it was, especially for a Disney ride. All right, so the top 10. Number 10, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. All right, so this one is quite a bit of fun. It's probably my favorite coaster at Magic Kingdom. It is definitely a lot of fun, but it does suffer from, if I'm riding with somebody else, there's a couple of bends that'll push me all the way to one side or push me all the way to the other side. And if I'm not bracing for it, I can kind of hit the edge of the car and tweak my back a little bit. But the theming on this ride is amazing. It's the wildest ride in the wilderness. So yeah, it's definitely is a pretty wild ride. It is. Man, it is a really good coaster. The theming is really good. It's a little bit short for me. but it's still a fantastic ride. Still a fantastic ride. I don't really have anything to complain about it too much. I don't hit my knees all that much. I think the biggest complaint I have is people holding their phones up and dropping them and stuff like that. But that's nothing to do with the ride. So let's move on. So number 9. All right. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. This is the only Harry Potter ride that I have been able to fit on so far. And it is really hit or miss, which is probably why it's so low down on the list here. The the problem with it is that it has these seat bars that come down that will hold your top of your legs in, but it also has another bar that pushes your shins back. And a lot of the times I can't get my legs tucked enough to be able to make that work. So I just have to kind of deal with it. And when I can ride it, it is really good. It's really, really short, but it's got 3D glasses, and it really puts you in the middle of Gringotts. It's got all kinds of interesting events and stuff, and I really like the technical part of it because there's several parts of the ride track that actually move and tip the car, and you feel like it's the ride car tipping, but it's actually the track moving with the ride car attached to it. And that is really cool when you don't look at the screen that they want you to look at, and you're looking back at everything how it's done technically. That's a really cool ride, and I can definitely appreciate what goes into that ride. The queue is also amazing. If you've ever been to the queue in Escape from Gringotts, they have the big bank like foyer, and it is pretty awesome. But they also have a lot of really good special effects. Just the video screens in the simulator are really cool. But again, those ride vehicles are really hit or miss for me. I haven't tried to ride it for a while. I would say probably right now I would just be able to eke in there. But yeah, before I started my diet, I probably wouldn't have been able to ride this one again. All right, so number 8. Number 8 is Slinky Dog Dash at Hollywood Studios. So the thing that really puts this one up high on my list, it is, again, a very, very short ride. But the theming on it is absolutely spectacular. It really fits into the Toy Story Land, where everything in Toy Story Land is basically made out of toys. It's like a giant kid just built everything. And Slinky Dog Dash is a kind of a mashup of Slinky Dog and a toy coaster set. So the theming is really interesting, and they really work hard to sell it in the queue. But one of the main things that I like about it is riding the coaster at night. Okay, there's a lot of lights in the track, and everything is really pretty and lit up and beautiful. And if you're lucky enough to be able to ride this one during the fireworks going off, oh man, that is the perfect time to ride this one, in my opinion. It's fun during the day, but it's a lot more impressive at night, especially the launch where the everything spins and you're like going turbo. Because it's a really slow turbo when you're on this thing, but at night it's a lot more impressive. All right, so number 7. Number 7 is Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Okay, so Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is, man, how to explain it? It's a very, very quirky ride. It's another one of those gun rides where you have these guns and you're shooting little laser beams at all these targets in the ride, but the ride's like almost entirely blacklight. So it's a very unique look. It doesn't look anything like Toy Story. It's supposed to be like the cartoon of Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger. But you'll see all these little Z targets in this picture over here. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to shoot those as many times as you can, try and get as many points as you can. And the last time I rode it was the first time that I got the Galactic Hero achievement, which was the highest score possible. It's 999,999. But unfortunately, there's kind of a little trick to it. You have to know exactly which targets to shoot at to be able to score those massive points. Otherwise, you might be lucky to score like 80,000 points. So yeah, I did my research, I did my homework, and figured out where to shoot. But even if you know where to shoot, it's really hard to aim those guns because the little laser beam just flashes really quick, and you have 20 other people on the ride with you, all flashing their little laser beams all over the place, and you have to find yours and really make sure you know exactly where that thing's going. But I definitely like it quite a bit. I like it more than Toy Story Mania. It is a lot of just plywood, just silliness, but it's such a unique experience that it is my number 7. Was it 7? Yeah, it was 7. Number 7. All right. I know what I'm doing. Oh, okay. So, again, let me just stop here, and since I did a thumbs up, maybe I could ask you guys to give the live stream a thumbs up if I'm doing okay. Let me pull up the chat here and see if anything is burning to the ground. Um, Big Thunder is amazing. Yes, Big Thunder is amazing. Space Tree, but um, there are more amazing rides out there. But yeah, Big Thunder is definitely one that I really like to do. I like to do Splash Mountain too when I'm over there. But all right, let's get back on track. Back on track here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so number 6. Let's see what it is. Uh-oh, it's a giant rock. My number 6 is a giant rock. It is actually Flight of Passage in the Pandora section of Animal Kingdom. A lot of people would say that this is the best ride in Orlando. I am not one of those people. The ride, like the presentation of it and the immersion of it is fantastic. It is, as far as that goes, it's the best, absolute best ride in Orlando as far as the amount of technical prowess that has gone into making this ride. The reason it is not number 1 for me is because of these torture devices that they call ride vehicles. Basically, what happens here is I have to jam myself into these seats, and my shins are too long. So the top of the seat comes. So which one did I stop on? Let's see. What was the last one you heard? Oh, when I was talking about the breathing banshees. Okay, yeah, those banshees, the air sacs bend my knees sideways, which is really uncomfortable. I'll have to keep an eye on the little audio thing that I have that tells me if my audio is working or not. Okay, so yeah, it can bend your knees sideways on the. Let's see if I can go back on those seats. If you're just barely jammed in there, it's going to get a lot more uncomfortable by the time the ride is over. I was very impressed with the ride, but it hurt quite a bit to ride Flight of Passage. All right, now the next one's a big surprise. Number 5, Rock and Roller Coaster. So kind of let the wind out of my sails to show you guys that ahead of time. But Rock and Roller Coaster is probably the most intense ride at Disney. At least in my opinion, it is. It will definitely blow your hair back. I know it did to my niece. If you watch the video I did on this one, I actually put a picture of her on this ride because it starts off and it goes like 0 to 60 miles an hour in like a second, and it's pretty intense. But this one is very, very friendly to big and tall people, plus size people. Pretty much anybody I know can ride this one, but you might want to think twice about it if you have heart condition because it can be rather intense. The theme of Rock and Roller Coaster is corny as heck. So basically, what it is you're going into the studio, you see Aerosmith, and they want to bring you along, so they get a limo that is a roller coaster to bring you along. And yeah, it's a really weird kind of choice there, but it is definitely a very interesting coaster. And if you don't believe me that it's intense, here's a picture of it with the lights on. So inside it's completely dark all the time. And so you got some flips, you got some dips, you got some whips, I guess, and If you're not, you won't know what to expect until you actually ride it for the first time. But it's a inside of there. It's all black light and yeah, it's pretty fun ride. All right, so number 4 is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. It's a simulator ride. It's an older ride. It's a little bit dated, but it's a 3D simulator ride where it's like going through an animated version of the Spider-Man cartoons, or you get to see the Sinister Six, and there's a lot of cool set pieces, and it's such a fun experience. In what they can do with these simulators, it's really impressive, especially for how dated the ride is. Now, the Transformers ride uses a ride vehicle that's practically the exact same thing. It has a little bit different of a facade on it, and it actually sticks out more, and it'll bash my knees. So I like this one way better than Transformers. It's got so much character and heart to it that it's really one of my favorite rides, and I like to do it. I like to ride it every single time I'm in Islands of Adventure. So let's see here. Number 3. Oh, we're getting to the big ones now. Okay, so remember, if you guys have any questions, if you think them down, I'll scroll through the chat and answer those questions after we're done with the countdown. So if you have any questions about like Keto Chow, or or how my diet's going, or how I feel, car wreck, or anything, let me know, and I'll answer those. All right, so number 3, Expedition Everest. All right, so Expedition Everest is a pretty intense ride. I wouldn't say it's nearly as intense as as Rock and Roller Coaster, but it definitely, if you don't like heights, you're going to feel kind of intimidated at the top of the lift hill on this one. It has a fantastic view, especially at night. But at Animal Kingdom, when the light show there, I forget what that's called. What's the light show called there? So when that light show is going on, you can look down at it and see cool stuff. And if there's fireworks going off at the other parks, you can see them off in the distance, and that is always a lot of fun. But it's a pretty intense roller coaster. Has a couple of good corkscrews, and it used to have a really cool thing going on. So sorry, spoilers. Spoilers. It's got a lot of interesting things going on. It used to have a really cool Yeti animatronic, but that Yeti animatronic is still there, but they had to put it on like don't move mode. They had like fake movement because the Yeti. The problem was the mountain that goes around Everest, and the ride, and the Yeti are all 3 completely separate structures with 3 completely separate foundations. And the Yeti animatronic is so big and so heavy that it actually cracked its foundation of the tower that Yeti is on. So they can't turn it on, otherwise it'll take the whole ride down. It'll fall over. So after about like 2 weeks, they realized that this was happening, and they put it on don't move mode. Basically, it's like really cheap animation mode. It's just a flashing strobe light behind the Yeti, and it's really disappointing that the Yeti doesn't work, because it is. At the time, it was the most expensive animatronic that was in any ride anywhere, and they had to turn it off after it was either like 2 months or something like that. They never turn it back on because they don't want it to take the whole ride down. All right, so moving on to number 2. All right, number 2 is Revenge of the Mummy. All right, so Revenge of the Mummy is another indoor dark ride like Rock and Roller Coaster, okay? This one is not nearly as intense, but it has a lot more character. So I definitely like the character in these rides. It's based on the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, not the Tom Cruise one. If you like that one, I'm sorry, but more power to you, I guess. So the theme of this ride is very quirky and weird. So it's based on the production of the Brendan Fraser movies with a real mummy and stuff. So basically what happened was the production got some sort of like talisman that had the spirit of the mummy tied to it, and now the spirit of the mummy is ransacking the movie set. And then it kind of forgets that it's doing that, and then it just takes you into the temple. It's just such a weird, quirky thing. But I love riding this one. It is a little tough for me to fit on. I have to when I put down the lap bar on this one, I never like ease the lap bar down. I always have to kind of jam the lap bar down because I don't get enough leverage if I put it just close to me and then try and eke it that last inch. I have to just slam it down and hope I'm not going to hurt myself. But it can be rather uncomfortable when I do that. So I'm trying to lose some weight so I don't have to injure myself to get on this one anymore. But this is actually a schematic of the ride, if you were curious. So where the O in the track is the two loading areas, and then there's kind of a little slow flat area, which is on the lower part of the screen. That little slow flat area just has a couple of set pieces and everything, and then starts to pull some tricks on you and surprise you as soon as you get to kind of that dead end in the track. So there's a lot of interesting things there, and then it pulls a couple more tricks on you by the end of it. So you think you're getting off the ride, but you're not, and then it keeps going. So that kind of thing, I definitely appreciate the humor that goes into trying to make a roller coaster trick you into thinking it's over. It's not a perfect implementation of that joke, but the fact that they actually tried it like makes it close to my heart because I make a lot of bad jokes. So I like a roller coaster to make bad jokes too. And sorry, I have to get my coffee. So, and that's a reference to this ride. I'd been fine if I had my coffee. All right. So number one. Oh no, that was number two? That was number two. Oh my goodness, we're at the end of the list. Wow. All right. So number one. If you saw the video for today, yeah, spoilers. So Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Rat Barges is actually my number one favorite ride here in the Orlando area. I can't ride it all the time. Is that really? There were more pictures, but so Popeye's Bilge-Rat Barges is. You're going to get drenched if you get on this ride. Watch the video I released today if you want to see more pictures of it. I got on it not expecting very much, and the first time I rode it, I kind of fell in love with it with just the unexpected stuff that happens on it, and there's just so much to it. So the theming is a little bit weird if you have kids. They might not know who Popeye is, and frankly, I'm not a Popeye fan, but the whimsy of this ride is definitely something that I really, really like. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me that how can you say that Popeyes is the best ride? But for my money, there's not a single time that I have ridden Popeyes that everyone on the entire ride wasn't laughing their head off. Because a lot of other rides, I'll see people get sick. I'll see people, just not have a good time. Little kids crying. On this one, everybody has a great time. Everybody has such a great time on Bilge-Rat Barges, and I do too. So those are currently my top 15 rides here in the Orlando area. We have several new rides coming. So we have Galaxy's Edge, which is opening, and that's going to have a Millennium Falcon ride that I'm going to have to try. Also, as I lose weight, I will probably be able to ride several other rides. I went to SeaWorld last year, and I was just barely able to fit on Mako, but I've probably gained like 40 pounds since then. I still have 40 pounds to lose since I was just barely able to fit on that one. I almost put Mako on this list, but I couldn't because I hadn't ridden it lately, and I hadn't been able to do a review of it. So I'm trying to lose weight to be able to get into those rides at SeaWorld. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a 30-day yeah, quite a surprise. I know. I'm sorry, but I'm weird. Yeah. So I'm doing this 30-day Keto Chow challenge, which is a meal replacement shake that I drink instead of eating meals. And I've lost about 20 pounds so far. So I'm on my way to be able to ride on these rides. And I had an interesting thing happen to me yesterday. So I went to Universal Studios to exercise and walk around, and I tried the test seat for Rip Ride and Rocket. Okay, so I try this test seat, and I'm pushing the bar down, and I hear this weird buzzing sound that I've never heard before. And I look down, and the light is green, guys. The light on the test seat is green. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh no. What? Because I wasn't planning on riding any rides. I just had my camera out. I was taking pictures. I was like, oh no. Oh, now I have to ride this ride because I can actually fit on the test seat. So I paid for a locker, and I put my stuff in the locker because I had too much stuff to be able to put in one of the free lockers. So I can go ahead and change out of this. Let's change back over to this screen here. So I paid for a locker, and I put my stuff in the locker, and then I get to the front of the queue after like a 20-30 minute wait, and I get paired with a lady as a single rider, and she doesn't want to be in the row that we're supposed to be in, and so she wants to get in the next row back. So I'm not able to fit in that seat. So they take me out, and they hold me to the side, and then they say, okay, well, try this seat. I try the next seat. I'm not able to fit. So they put me on four different seats. And even though I got a green light on the test seat, I wasn't able to fit on Rip Ride and Rocket. So that was, oh man, that one stung. That one stung quite a bit because I got so excited that I got a green light, and then nope, you don't get a ride. So never take the test seat lights as scripture, because they can be rather frustrating. But I'm going to stick to the diet. I'm going to keep drinking the Keto Chow, and I'm going to try and get some more weight loss here. All right, so let's check out the chat and see. Let me just scroll up. Big Thunder is amazing. Yada 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 yada. Looks like the audio was broken. Now, a couple more to be revealed. All right. The Breathing Banshees. Okay. Haven't tried keto in the parks yet. All right. Most of the time for me, I won't actually order food in the parks and eat, even when I wasn't doing keto. I would try and avoid it. I would either bring protein bars or bring my lunch with me, just because the parks are very expensive, and I'm kind of a cheapskate in the parks. I mean, I like a 4 foot long hot dog as much as the next guy, but yeah, I'm not. It's not something that I've really tried yet to try and eat keto in the parks. I'm sure it would be possible, but my thought on it would be that, hey, if people are coming and they're on vacation, they're more than likely not worried about their diet on their vacation. So I could maybe do some keto in the parks and try and figure it out and get everything squared away, or get that information out to you guys. I just didn't think that, off the top of my head, that there would be that much of a desire for that information. If you guys prove me wrong, I will totally try and hunt down exactly what I can do to eat keto in the parks. So, I mean, it would be interesting. I'm sure you could get salads and stuff and be able to do it, but the problem with keto in the parks is all the sauces and stuff might have added sugar, and I don't know if all the nutrition information is readily available for all the different stands and everything. I have to really look into that. My husband didn't see the Yeti even after riding several times. Yeah, just look for the strobe lights. The strobe lights are where the Yeti is. It's after you go down the big drop that goes outside of the mountain and you come back up. You'll come through a really dark cave, and there's the Yeti right there. But it's deceptive because that Yeti in Everest is actually a lot bigger than he looks like he is. I think he's like 23 feet tall, and at the time he was the biggest animatronic. but he was so big that the torque of him moving around cracked the foundation of the Yeti. Uh, yes, nice mug. Oh yes, I have the Darkwing Duck mug. Get that in focus there. Darkwing Duck, and on the other side, it's got DW right there. I actually have the complete set of these. They have the Rescue Rangers and Ducktales. Mm. Oh, and on the bottom, it has stuff on the bottom too, like the Ducktales one has a treasure map, but I forget what the other one was. There's Rescue Rangers, Tailspin. Tailspin was the one. I was never a big fan of Tailspin, so I don't know. But I was a big fan of DuckTales and Darkwing Duck, just because I would watch Darkwing Duck and Batman the Animated Series and be like, this is great. This is fantastic. This is the peak of television for me. Um, all right. Yeah, that was around the same time as Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And between the animated cartoons on television and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it actually made me want to go to animation school and figure out how to make games. So that's what my degree and that's what I went to school for is all the animation and stuff. So let's see, nice mug, yada yada yada. Quite a surprise for number one. Yeah, I'm weird. Yeah, weird is good. Which rides will be the first ones you can ride as you lose weight? Okay, so prioritizing the rides for me. One thing that I want to do is actually make a shirt. I want to make a shirt that has like Rip Ride Rocket and the Hulk and Forbidden Journey and Hagrid's motorbike adventure on it with check boxes, so that I can have this shirt and just put checks on them every time I ride a new one. I'll just put fabric paint on it and paint a check mark in the box, and we'll have to see. I think that Rip Ride and Rocket for me will be the next one I'll be able to ride, since I was able to get that green light. I have to sit on it weird. For like most people are going to sit on it and put their legs straight out like that. I have to kind of cross my legs and bend my knees sideways so that I can kind of take my feet and scissor them like that to be able to get my hips out of the way. But as soon as I get my hips out of the way, hopefully I'll be able to fit on there soon. The Hulk, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fit on that one. Because when I sit on it, I sit directly on top of the bars, and it feels like my bones hitting those. So that one might be a while. Forbidden Journey is another one. The Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and the Hogwarts Castle. That's another one I don't know if I'll be able to ride. I think that one really comes down to if I get the right seat. So these rides, what happens is over time they get worn out, they get bent. Okay, so like if I sat in Forbidden Journey, I have to kind of tuck my shoulders in like this. All right, but if I bend my shoulders out like that while I'm sitting in it, I can bend the ride, and then that seat is bigger. That seat is bent. The seats to either side are smaller, but that seat is bent, and over time, as people flip around in that, it wears out those seats and they get a little bit bigger, and eventually they get replaced. But if you can catch one of the ones that have been through all that torture and are a little bit bigger at the right time, you might just be able to fit on it. But I have not been lucky enough to do that yet. So I would say I probably need to lose another 30 pounds before I really have a good shot at Forbidden Journey. Let's see, the Hagrid's ride. Man, that one I'm close on. I am close, but my thighs are the problem. So it depends how long it takes for me to lose my my butt fat on there. But it was really disappointing because I was thinking, oh, it's Hagrid's. They have to be big and tall friendly, but really, really, it wasn't quite. Just you have nowhere to put your feet, and all of the tricks that I know to be able to fit on rides involve putting my legs in weird positions to be able to get the latch locked down. And Hagrid's really doesn't let you move your feet at all. You have like this much space to put your foot in. Your foot's gonna fit right there, and you're not gonna move it at all ever. So good luck. Um, so I think I'll probably be able to ride that one fairly soon. Almost everything at SeaWorld, I wasn't able to ride. I was able to ride Mako just barely, but again, I gained a lot of weight since then. And the puppy says hi, if you can hear him. Oh, the other puppy says hi too. Um, so yeah, I don't know exactly which order I'm going to be able to ride them in, but I would say probably Rip Ride Rocket and Haggard's will be the first two I'll be able to get on. Um, okay, so that'd be great. All right. Where did I get the framed pictures behind me? All right. So, well, this one back here is actually a poster that one of my friends made. It's a Star Wars poster that's like a tourism poster for Kepler 16b. It's got two suns to it. I think it's Star Wars. I don't know. I could be wrong. But it's basically you have two shadows there. These up here, I actually found on Amazon. You could buy stuff. I'll link in the description after the live stream's over to the exact place I bought these. So I basically bought a whole bunch of 10 by 8 frames and a whole bunch of Disney characters in kind of splatter art. Let me see if I can grab one of these. I'll just grab it and show you up close kind of look at these things. So it's got this really cool splatter art to it. And those are I really liked those, and they look like they would make a really good background for YouTube videos. So I bought several of them, but they all came in one big pack. So yeah, I'll definitely link you guys to those if you are interested in getting them. I'd be interested in the countdown of your favorite characters. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I know some pretty obscure stuff, but yeah, I could definitely do that, or at least favorite movies or something like that. I that kind of thing is what I would want to do on a live stream like this, because I can kind of interact with everybody, and it gives me something that I can kind of ramble about and not have to worry about scripting quite as much, but still make that content and give you guys at least my thoughts on stuff. Do you do meet and greet characters with characters in the theme parks? Yes, I do. Let me see if I can find a picture here. Let's see here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put a new picture in here, and a character actually snuck up on me while I was filming in the parks, and got in my shot and was dancing around in the background. And so I had to take a picture with her. I just had to, because she was dancing around in my background. So let's see if I can find that picture. It was just I checked the footage afterwards and I was like, what? Let's see the videos. Yeah. One sec. Here we go. Yeah. Let's do that. There you go. Okay. Got to shrink this down a little bit. Sorry. Quick technical issues, right? Very, very fast technical issues. I do some meet and greets. I'm not one to get lost in my imagination at the parks. A lot of the times, what I get really into are the technical parts of it. But yeah, as you can see, Hello Kitty snuck up on me and decided that she wanted to meet and greet with me, which was kind of fun and zany. But I really wasn't expecting it at all. All right, so let's get this off the screen here. Let's see what we get. Yes, remove the image. Transition back. There we go. All right, so yeah, I do some meet and greets. I did a meet and greet with Goofy, and I did a meet and greet with Spider-Man in my Spider-Man, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man video. But the Goofy one, I tried to be like, hey, Goofy's tall and I'm tall and I have a tall vlog thing. Puppy, shut up. He doesn't listen. So I have this big and tall vlog thing. So they were like, yeah, you can't take a video with Goofy and talk about your vlog. Sorry. I was like, oh, okay. Mm. I think the ones I'd be interested in, I met Sideshow Bob and Krusty, and I got a photo with them when I saw them one time. Um, but yeah, I don't go out of my way for them a lot of the times, unless I have like my niece or my other niece or my nephew, little kids with me. Then I get a big kick out of having them see the characters. But for me personally, I could take or leave the characters. A lot of the times I'm kind of focused on trying to make content and trying to get information out to you guys, so I don't I don't get lost in the imagination and whimsy quite as much as my wife does. She doesn't like going and filming with me because she likes the whimsy more than me. Did I design our logo? Yes, I did. I made video games for quite a long time, and I make board games too. So yes, I am a gamer. I played board games. This is actually a game I designed, Grifters. There it is. And this came out a few years ago, I think 2016, and it was pretty popular. But I do other game designs too. I made video games for quite a while under the name of Jack Smack. So if you go on Newgrounds and you look up Jack Smack, all one word, that's all my work too. So I have a degree in animation, as I said before, so I use that to make the logo and to do little animations and all the little Photoshoppy type stuff down on the bottom of the screen here. I got a lot of skill there, but okay. So the audio is back. I don't know exactly where I dropped off. I think that my headset's battery might be getting ready to go. So I will put a link to in the description to a place where you can pick up Grifters if you want to. There's also an expansion to Grifters that is out. I can also put a link to my Jack Smack account on Newgrounds. It's a whole bunch of Flash games, so play them while you can, because the Flash is going the way of the dodo. So, did I ever do meet and greets? Did I design the logo? Yes. What a sweet picture. Yes, I thought that was a really good picture with Hello Kitty. I actually was going around the park making a video about how to take better pictures in the park. So you can look for that one to come out here soon. And yeah, I'm sorry your dog is barking at my dog. He's a jerk. So he wants to go outside, I think. Yeah, I'll put a link to the games. The audio is out again. Audio died. No ear, bro. Audio lull. One sec. Back. Broke mid queue about games. All right. So my favorite board games. I don't know if so I like Castles of Burgundy quite a bit. I like Bonanza, which is a bean trading game, and one that's really kind of quirky is it's a spaceship game where you flick your spaceships around and you colonize planets, but there's a dexterity element of having to actually flick the spaceship to move it. It's called Ascending Empires. That is my personal favorite tabletop board game. I have tons of board games. I have like 300 some odd board games, but most of the time I will wind up playing prototypes of new games that people are working on because I have a whole bunch of designer friends, and we'll get together and play those. And I'll bring my games and try and do something weird and quirky and interesting. I have one that is currently being looked at by a publisher, and they wanted exclusivity on it, so hopefully that one will move forward here soon, and I'll be able to tell you guys about it. But right now, I can't really give you guys a whole bunch of information on it. As far as video games, I play games like Don't Starve or Oxygen Not Included. I like the new Spider-Man game. I really like that one. I'm looking forward to playing Horizon Zero Dawn if I can get that one in in my time here. I try and keep myself busy because I work from home and I sit and I stare at computers all the time. So I've gotten less inclined to sit and stare at the computer all the time, especially when I need a little bit of time to be able to edit these videos and put them out. So I'm staring at the computer quite a bit, so I want to have more hobbies to either get me out looking at a board game and thinking about that, or out at the parks shooting and doing something creative. So sitting and staring at the screen is not the greatest thing anymore. I used to love it when I was in college. Man, I could stare at screens for 24 hours straight. But nowadays, I'm just like, I need to do something a little bit different because I need to get around and get the blood flowing back into my legs. All right, so there's no more questions, right? I think I got them all. All right, so just in case you guys didn't know, okay, I'm pretty sure everybody who's currently watching this already knows, but I'm still doing the Keto Chow diet, and we still have the coupon code. And I don't know if everybody was here at the beginning, so I'm going to say this again. So Keto Chow was nice enough to send me a starter pack, which is basically, it has like a week's worth of meals in it, I think, and a blender bottle inside of there as a giveaway. So I'm going to be doing a Keto Chow video that will kind of explain what Keto Chow is and what you can expect if you pick some up, and kind of the benefits and how a ketogenic diet works in a new video that should hopefully be coming out this week. In that video, I'll explain how to enter the giveaway for this, and I'll give all the rules and everything, and we'll get that squared away. And also, I just made a merch store available. So I just bought a new bunch of shirts with a bigger logo on it and a lot cleaner, a lot better looking than the one that I had. And someone asked if these shirts were available to be purchased. I was like, well, why not? If you guys are interested in supporting the channel and you would like a shirt with the Parks in Your Pocket logo on it, I mean, these are pretty good shirts. I really like mine. There's a link in the description that will send you over to Teespring, and they're available in like up to 5X, and they're like a print-on-demand thing, available in up to 5X. I was very, very surprised that they went up to like my sizes. So I decided to go with them for the merch shop. So there's two different options for the logo: the one that has a little heart in the center, and then the one that doesn't. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can do that. Will that code work in Canada? I believe so. They didn't tell me it wouldn't work in certain areas. Basically, what the Parks in Your Pocket 10 is the code, and it will work for the first order. Okay, so what I would recommend if you're thinking about trying Keto Chow, what I would say is don't use the coupon code right away. Just use the affiliate link, and then get your own starter pack. Okay, and you'll be able to test it and see all the different flavors and see if you like it. And then when you actually want to order like a couple of weeks worth of food or something, you can use that coupon code and get a much bigger discount. So you don't waste your discount on buying just a small portion. If just kind of use it when you're going to get the bigger order, just to save a bit more money. I bought my tank. Oh, you're the one who bought the tank top. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. You were actually the first order on that. You're the reason I set that up. So thank you very much for your support. It definitely does. Doing things like the coupon code for Keto Chow and the merch shop definitely supports the channel a lot more than just the video ads. So you watching an ad is maybe going to be like 1/10 of a cent. So if you want to support the channel, if you just bought some Keto Chow or bought a T-shirt, you're going to be helping us thousands of percent more than just like watching an ad or clicking on an ad. So it really does mean a lot. You guys want to help support the channel. If there is any interest in it, I am actually thinking about setting up a Patreon. I don't know if I don't want to make a whole lot more work for myself by setting up the Patreon. So that was kind of the reason I was going around and taking Instagram photos and doing that to try and have different things I could give to Patreon backers. So, but that's not quite ready to go. Also working on some sort of blog to try and organize the content that I make. And so if I have a video, I might put the blog post together with the video on it, and then any updates I'll just write on the blog post, and then if eventually I do an updated video, I can take all the content that's in my blog and put it in a new video. My wife and I have been on keto for a few months. We are definitely watching your progress and thinking of trying Keto Chow as well. Yeah, I in 2014 I did keto for at least a year, and sorry, my puppy is very, very upset. I did keto for a year, and I lost 100 pounds. So I went a little over 100 pounds, actually. I went from 418 pounds all the way down to 310 pounds. And I was like, I can do it. And then we moved to Florida. And my wife moved away from her family, got a little unhappy, and to try and cheer her up, I was like, hey, you know what? I'll get a little lax, and we can go to Olive Garden and try and cheer you up. She had a little bit of a rough time there at the beginning. She got into a school that wasn't very nice to her. So I tried to make her happy, and I ate too many breadsticks and stopped worrying about keto. I was definitely doing it wrong. So now I'm doing it right and getting back on the wagon, getting everything reset and not being as tempted. Keto Chow has definitely helped me really do strict keto instead of lazy keto, and it's the way to go for me. It's a lot easier for me to go 100% into something than it is to go 98% and then have little dopamine rushes of, oh, I'm eating some pasta or something, or Chipotle. But yeah, so definitely I definitely recommend Keto Chow. The stuff tastes just like a milkshake. So, and it works for me. So it gives me really good control. But more information on Keto Chow is coming in a later video, so we'll worry about that a little bit later. Okay, so it looks like I've been live streaming for like an hour now, and we've had audio issues that I have figured out exactly what's going on, but not why it's happening. I'll have to get a different microphone for the next time around. If you guys have any ideas for different things, different topics that you would like to discuss on a live stream, different types of question and answer sessions that you would really like to do, anything for these live streams, just leave a comment down below and give me some ideas, and I'll see what we can do. Next Sunday, I'm going to try and do these every Sunday night. Next Sunday, I think, is Passholder Appreciation Days at Universal Orlando. So I might go to that instead of doing the live stream. I'll have to check and exactly see what the dates are. But if you are going to that, please stop me and say hi. It definitely makes my day when people stop me in the parks and say hi. So I'm more than happy to do the live stream and give you guys some way to reach out to me. Hopefully this hasn't been a complete train wreck. I know early on there was some technical difficulties, but everything was set up right. It just didn't want to work. So now we got it working. Now I hopefully will be able to do it right the first time next time. So we'll see. And once again, I'm just going to kind of sign off here, guys. So thank you for watching. This has been Parks in Your Pocket. There's the logo somewhere down there, down there, over there. So thank you for watching Parks in Your Pocket. My name is Dave, and I'll see you guys real soon.